Oh, waste management is just this scientific principle that is being laid down to manage waste from generation point to the disposal point. And the principles are just 5 cardinal principles. You talk of generation, from generation to storage, from storage to transfer and transport, from transport to treatment, and from treatment to disposal. So those are the 5 principles of, 5 component of waste management, the principle of the scientific principle of waste management that is being laid down in the scientific way to manage the waste. That's just waste management. You know, in the past, let's go to the local government are still the one that is in the constitution to handle waste management. And that, if you still go to constitution, that is the regulation that is the instrument that is in the constitution. The power is being vested on the local government. But because in the past, when population explosion happened, local government could not have the resources to manage this waste. Then the state government, by one way or the other, because it has become a kind of disgrace or eyesore for the state, and they said, well, since you don't have the capacity, we can assist. And they started taking it up and started promulgating law. And that's where now the Ministry of the Environment at state level now has the capacity to regulate and put policy in place. And you can see that most of the state has State Environmental Protection Agency. Those are the ones that are supposed to even be the police of the environment. And the one for Lagos State, I think Lagos State was the first state in Nigeria to enact environmental law that bring about the management of waste. And that's the law in 1986 that set up LOMA. You understand? Between yes, aftermath of the 1977 report of what's it called? Festac 77, when a foreign journalist came and said Lagos is the dirtiest city in the world. And that was ginger and bring up make the state, the government of the day that time to come up with law to regulate the environment. So the regulation is vested on local government by constitution. But most of the states now have now enacted some law, particularly what Lagos State government did of recent, the 2017 bylaw or a law that is being enacted on environmental law that is being passed by Lagos State House of Assembly. That is the current one now, that the state has now taken the regulation upon themselves. Let me tell you one thing. Our laws are inconsistent with the best practice. You see, we can have law. Who is disobeying the law? It's the government. Number one, disobedient to our law is the government. And I'll give you an example. The recent problem in Olusosun, the government knows. Both at federal level, state level, and local government level, they know that Olusosun is an eyesore. It's supposed to have been closed down as far back as 4 or 5 years ago. Turn that place to a recreational area or turn it to energy city or smart city. But because they don't pay attention to it, if they have paid attention to it, that what happened last week Wednesday will not happen. They're supposed to have capped that place. The proper way of capping and maintaining and close down that place is by capping it, put green there, by using the green plantation and convert it to what the governor now said they want to do after the disaster. It's supposed to have been done long time ago. In fact, as far back as 2009, 2010, when that place was filled to ground level. But somebody somewhere did not do his work well. His or her work well. And that's why we have that disaster. The regulation is being violated mostly by the government. That is another angle of business the government should put attention into. One, it is the only business that I have been identified all over the world that can employ all the 3 cadre in the in the business chain. One, skill, semi-skill, and unskilled. All those 3 cadres of employment employer and employee fall into waste management business circle. What do I mean by that? the scavenger, what training do you need to have as a scavenger? Just know how to select plastic, this and that. You don't need to go to any school for that. Then driver, you just need to go to driving school and hold that one. Then that is on skill. Semi-skill are people like driver, like the manager that is handling them, that is controlling them. Then the skill aspect of it, of the waste management, are those who are doing the recycling, the disposal level, people like us, who consult. And we are the skill level, skill category of the three economic earner in the business of waste management. So, and the quantum of people that this can employ, in fact, you cannot underestimate them. Because look at Olusosun village, over 4,000, 5,000 scavengers are there. Look at the PSP. Look at the value chain that is happening. Then look at the recycling level. If a business of that level in the UK, in the US, 20 billion, yes, about 20 billion euro is the investment portfolio of waste management in UK. The same thing in the US, close to $90 billion. So in Nigeria, look at what happened with VisionScape. If you look at the investment profile that the VisionScape came up with Lagos State, almost the guarantee they gave to VisionScape, about 50 billion naira. So that to tell you the potential in the business of waste management. We just need to put more effort into it and let the right people do the business, please. That's just the advice. On a more serious note, we are back to square one. And I don't know what happened. It could be policy somersaulting, it could be lack of inappropriate use of equipment, and it could be maybe lack of understanding of the business. We are back to square one. What is happening today now has happened 15 years ago. Yes, in Lagos, where we started seeing waste back on the street. And when the government in power at that time discovered that this is becoming a nuisance and becoming an embarrassing to them, they come up, they contact professionals who now came up with an idea that it is not easy for government to do the business of waste management alone. Bring in private sector. And that was when the Asiwaju-led government, Ahmed Tinubu government, brought about the first set of registered PSP, private sector participation, almost 100 of them. And when the next government came in, he increased them to like 305 or 350. You can see the value chain there. People who are employed in that area. Then the landfill was given to different people to manage. It was that during that time we managed that of Solus dump site. Olusosun was given to somebody else. Abule Egba was given to Loma. And the reason was that why Loma was given to Abule Egba, because if some of us who are private sector, if we mess up, or we try to maybe hold the government to ransom, then they would divert their PSP to Abule Egba, which is government owned, being run by a government agency. The same thing will have been what is supposed to be in place now. Why do you have to tell Loma to down to? Loma was given the responsibility of handling the waste of the highways, while the PSP are taking the residential and commercial. Then the new initiative came in now. The people who are many, who have the equipment and capacity to, who have been handling the waste, you ask them to go to commercial. What is the commercial property? Well, how many are commercial property in Lagos? We have more of residential. So those who came in with the investment do not even have the capacity to carry Lagos Island waste, talk less of taking the entire Lagos. That is where the operational problem comes in. So now what we need to do, I think I will advise the Lagos State government to declare state of emergency in the waste management situation of Lagos, so that experts from abroad within will come in and provide a solution. And the solution, you see, Lagos is not, I'm not sure Lagos is reinventing waste management. It's just because they are not following the right principle and they are not putting the right people to do the work.
You know, oil spillage in our country over the years have had its impact.
See, that is another disaster coming in. We will say our own. If you like, take caution. Since 1950, when oil exploration and exploitation has started in the Niger Delta, the oil spillage and all other hazardous problems that are coming from oil operation in offshore and onshore, nobody has ever asked, where are the waste going? Who is responsible for the waste management of those contaminated soil? Now, the cleanup you said about Ogoniland, let me give you an example. Do you know company now apply to Federal Ministry of Environment to give them waiver license to carry waste to South Africa to go and dispose, because we don't have a single hazardous waste treatment facility in Nigeria. And most of the cleanup they want to do in the Niger Delta, the waste characterization are purely hazardous waste. And we don't have a single, the only waste treatment facility we have in the Niger Delta a little bit are those who are doing TDU, thermal decomposition unit, thermal decomposition unit. These are the ones we have right now. You understand? So the problem again is the TDU people, they are not many, and the quantity they can handle is small compared to what is being generated. I give you an example. Oil sludge that is coming from abandoned rig. Let's say a closed rig, there will be a lot of oil sludge. Those sludge, when they are being removed, they are taken to TDU, or you can take them to oil recovery and recycling plants. You understand? We don't have those facilities around. The cutting mud, cutting rig, and all these oil-based waste and water-based waste, they are all there. We don't have the facility to take care of them. So that is why you see people now asking as agent to this generator of waste, oil waste, who now goes to Total, Total and Chevron and all this, that they are waste management agent company, and that bring your waste. And when they give them that waste, you know what they do? They just buy some portion of land in the Niger Delta and start storing them without not taking it to anywhere. Some are even doing ocean dumping. So we have serious problem that is affecting our marine environment now due to the heavy pollution in the Niger Delta. Aerobic composting is a simple way of taking care of organic waste to produce compost in the presence of air. That is aerobic composting. Incineration is the burning of waste using combustion, and it has a calorific value. By the time you burn the waste, there is a steam coming out. That steam could be used to power a turbine to generate electricity. So combustion, incineration simply means burning of waste in either rotary kiln incinerator or a pyrolysis incinerator. A sanitary landfill is a place designed in scientific principle using engineering methods to excavate the soil. You excavate the soil. Excavation of the soil depends on the quantity of waste that you want to bring to the site. You can design a landfill for 2,000 tons of waste, 1,000 tons of waste with operational cells. Cells are those excavated area of the landfill whereby you excavate the soil, you line it, you install gas collection system and leachate. Leachate is the water that percolates after rainfall on naked waste. By the time you put in all those scientific principles into the excavated soil, you have a sanitary landfill. And that's the difference between Olusosun, which is just an ordinary dump site, compared to a sanitary landfill.